Okay, I have a confession. I don't understand Southern pride. I just don't get it. But to be fair, I don't understand Northern pride either, though you don't really hear a lot about that. I guess I should have Southern Western pride because I live in the Southwest where we no longer have winter, fall, or spring. Just an endless summer and no useful system of public transportation? I don't know. I don't get it. Pride based on geographical location doesn't make any sense to me. Am I supposed to be proud of the actual geography? The fact that my parents chose to put down roots here? I don't get it. Although I absolutely understand Hitchcock, who is said to have had a great deal of North by Northwestern pride. But I'm a sucker for anything Cary Grant. Stranger still is the fact that when people from the South speak of Southern pride, that pride seems frequently associated with the secession of the Southern states, the Civil War, and this thing, the Confederate battle flag. It's also often associated with these statues and monuments honoring the various and sundry treasonous heroes of the Confederacy. Again, I don't get it. Especially when that Southern pride includes a statue in Memphis, Tennessee of General Nathan Bedford Forrest. I'm sure you're all familiar with him from the movie Forrest Gump. Oh, he was also an early leader and founder of the KKK. Southern pride is also often talked about in terms of heritage. Heritage, not hate, is a common refrain. But heritage is ambiguous at best. There's no a priori reason to be proud of one's heritage, wherever one is from. There's heritage to be proud of, heritage that's nothing to write home about, and heritage to be ashamed of. And at least from this outsider's point of view, Southern heritage is not in any way on the right side of that line, or of history. For nearly a century, people were not fond of talking about the reasons behind the Civil War. Frederick Douglass noted that in 1894. Glad to see he's finally getting the recognition he deserves, by the way. Whatever else I may forget, Douglass said, I shall never forget the difference between those who fought for liberty and those who fought for slavery. Instead of talking about slavery, people began talking about the Civil War like it was just some monumental political/philosophical struggle about the questions of federalism and states' rights. Perhaps this was the only way people could look each other in the eye and move on. But that question of states' rights was about the right of one race of people having the right to enslave and own another race of people. Can we all agree at this point that the right to own another person based on the color of their skin, or for any reason really, is not something that should have ever been left to the states? I certainly hope so. I'm not saying that getting rid of these symbols of the Confederacy is a magic bullet that will move the culture forward. All vestiges of Nazi Germany were destroyed almost instantly. Libraries were purged, fascist newspapers were shut down, Nazis were fired from their jobs throughout the country, people were put on trial for war crimes, and still, 10 years later, 48% of Germans thought Hitler would have gone down as one of Germany's greatest leaders, except for the war. Nothing quite like that happened here after the Civil War. Confederates were not necessarily considered treasonous in general or tried for war crimes. Indeed, statues and monuments were over the years erected to honor those who committed treason in order to preserve the right of the white man to own the black man. The problem is not just these symbols of the Confederacy. It's the underlying ideology responsible for slavery, white supremacy. As Texas put it in their declaration, one of the reasons they had chosen secession was the debasing doctrine of equality of all men, irrespective of race or color, a doctrine at war with nature, in opposition to the experience of mankind, and in violation of the plainest revelations of divine law. Our failure to confront and destroy this underlying ideology of white supremacy led to our shameful tolerance of the practices of Jim Crow and segregation, which continued to sabotage and devastate black lives for another 100 years. Recently, I spoke with an older couple, Republicans, people I like and know, who voiced their concern over the fact that America, as of 2045 or so, will no longer be a majority white country. Yeah. In the last couple of years, we've seen that ideology rearing its ugly head again, thanks in no small part to the nationalist policies of the current administration. That means it's time for those of us who are opposed to such ideology to stand up, speak out, and resist this poisonous ideology, of which no one should be proud.